All right, so we're going to take a look here at this video, Boy or Girl, from BBC The Social. This was posted on Facebook. It went pretty viral, and the Vigilant Christian covered it. I want to take a look at this myself and offer my sort of opinion on this. Now, I want to just explain this to anybody that might flag this video for copyright. This is for educational purposes only. It's 100% nonprofit, so you cannot copyright strike this. Okay, I'm not making money off this, so I'm allowed to look at it and critique it. So please do not even think about copyright striking it, because I will take legal action. Thank you. Let's go. All right, so right away, heavily produced, with a lot of thought and planning in the intent of the video. The fact that this character here knows that these letters are going to appear means that there is a lot of production involved, and there is a sort of script that has to be followed. You also notice the skull here, which many people would immediately think of Skull and Bones, perhaps, New World Order, things like that. Probably not accidental that it's in the sort of a picture here. When I talk about the LGBTQSW XYZ, it is about this. It's about depopulating the planet. It's about eugenics. That's what it is. Okay, so let's go.
The single most common question I get asked is, are you a boy or are you a girl? The simple answer is no. But then the response after that is usually a very confused, what?
The simple answer is, what do you have between your legs? That's the simple answer. It doesn't matter what your mind thinks you are. It matters what you biologically are. That's all. So nobody should be confused about this. We're confused because we look at you and we say, well, that looks like a girl, but she's got a boy haircut, sort of thing. So what are you? What do you have between your legs? And that's what I'll call you. If you want to be called something else, well, then you could go to people that are very idiotic and brainwashed, and you can try to convince them to call you something else. But I will call you what you have between your legs.
So here is the explanation. I am non-binary, and that means I identify as something other than male or female. Our society and history has led us to believe over thousands of years...
What do you identify as? A walrus? A stick bug? A penguin? I mean, what's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean? Now, if you're a hermaphrodite, you can just come out and say, well, I'm a hermaphrodite. I've got male and female genitals. Lucky for you. I mean, well, lucky for you. I don't want to insult anybody that's in that situation. But, you know, you could look at it as something unique and all that, but I don't think that's the case here, is it?
Is something other than male or female. Our society and history has led us to believe over thousands of years that there are only people who are male and people who are female.
Yeah, that's just common sense. That's all it is. It's just how society functions. The only function, like the whole thing about sex, which everybody needs to understand. The reason why you're horny is because you're supposed to reproduce. The reason why you're supposed to reproduce because it's all part of you know, maintaining the species, or not even maintaining the species, but growing the species. You want your species to be successful. Every single species, whether it's plants or animals or mammals or amphibians or whatever, they're all programmed to multiply as much as possible, because that ensures, and multiply with a variety of different male and female type offspring in order to ensure a greater chance of that species' survival. That's it. That's what you get horny for, because you're supposed to be producing offspring.
But that is because past society has based gender on physical sex.
Let me see what it is, nurse. Ah, yes, what a strapping young lad.
So let's just think about the amount of production that goes into this. It's the BBC. So what is the BBC? Is the BBC outright evil? Yeah, absolutely. BBC's evil. It's here to program you into this agenda and many other agendas. Should you trust the BBC? Absolutely not. Not even for a microsecond. You'd be a fool too. Now think about this video. Just think about it. Look at the production that goes into it. Look at the setting. Look at now how the costume has been added and the props and the makeup and the hair and everything. And it's all to condition you into this mentality. The mentality, of course, is that gender is a social construct, and anybody who believes that there are only two genders is somebody who is completely antiquated, outdated, and should be put out to pasture. And that the new wave, of course, is that there are as many genders as there are people, and people should be able to choose whatever gender they want. And if you want to identify as something one day and switch it the next day, that's your right to do so, and all laws should be reconstructed in order to push that sort of mentality, which is insanity. It really is. So
it's outdated. The truth is that gender is in the brain, and physical sex is a completely separate and different thing that is private to every individual. What people really mean when sex is a completely separate and different thing that is private to every individual.
Every individual, that's it. Every individual has their own sort of sexual gender. How insane is that? In the old days, you just, people like this wouldn't be able to be in this situation because they wouldn't have the time to watch all the mind control idiocy that is their media. And they wouldn't be able to develop these perverted sort of completely dystopic type of viewpoints that have no logic and no basis in reality. You are conditioning people into this madness that if they're somehow unsatisfied with their lives in any way, shape, or form, that it's probably due to them somehow getting a raw deal. Somehow, when they were dealt their penis or their vagina, that was a fuck up. And somehow all that needs to be eradicated. All that needs to be reversed. That what you are biologically, what your chromosomes are, what you have between your legs is all wrong. And that you, special you with your special haircut and your skull here that's all ornately carved and has a lot of fucked up things on it, somehow you are so bloody special. You are so bloody special, Victor, that all of the rest of the world must conform to what you want to be identified as. That your privileged position within society means that the rest of humanity has to give in and give in to your illusion about what you are.
What people really mean when they're asking the boy or girl question is creepily, so, what genitals do you have?
So what?
So, what genitals do you have?
Yeah, that's it. What genitals do you have? Oh, you got a vagina? Well, you're a girl. You might be a girl with a boy haircut who doesn't like to wear makeup and likes to dress up as a tomboy. That's fine. But you're still a girl. I mean, still, you can have babies. If you aren't completely disgusted with the act of taking a penis up the vagina, you can have babies. That's a wonderful thing. But somehow the BBC and all the dumb turds and all the hideous New World Order programming has conditioned you, if this is not an outright actor, into thinking that that's a horrible thing. And that poor little old me should be able to be whatever the fuck I want, no matter what. You know how crazy that is? Of course, it is completely crazy. But this is the BBC here. This is the epicenter of social conditioning. I mean, we're not fucking around here. This isn't some little YouTube channel. This is the BBC. And I've shown this for years now, dealing with the BBC and how they're putting up all these videos dealing with gender-neutral parenting and all this shit. It's insane what they're doing. It's evil. It's evil. That's what it is. It's evil. If I had to define evil, I would have to define it as people that would willfully, lie and try to brainwash people into thinking that whatever dissatisfaction they have with their life is because of how society perceives their sexual identity. It's insanity. You know, in the old days, there's no chance. There's no chance. People would just whip you into shape really quickly and say, "Hey, you're a woman. Okay, you don't want to be a mother. You can go to the convent. You can become a nun or whatever, right?" But now, it's, hey, let the rest of the world bend over and take it, and you can be whatever the fuck you want. And anybody that says anything about that is somebody that's really fucked up, and they need to be locked up.
People need to realize it doesn't matter what living meat skeleton you've been born in, it's what you feel that defines you.
No, never, ever. So you're saying a butterfly can feel like a lion, and everybody should accept it, and that all the antelopes should run away when the butterfly comes flying down because somehow the butterfly thinks that it's a lion. You know how stupid that is? It's insanity. It makes no sense whatsoever and has no basis in reality.
Non-binary is a blanket term for anyone who identifies out with the binary gender. There are endless ways of being non-binary, and no two people identify in the same way. So just remember, gender is what you feel, not what your parts are. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Bye, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty evil. It's pretty fucking evil. And the whole programming, the classical music that's put to it, the whole conditioning, the setting, the studio, all the people that would be involved in this, the, you know, people setting up the microphones, the lighting, all that shit. It's crazy. You get people that are all evil. You should all be ashamed of yourselves, and you should all fucking, I don't know, come forth and admit what you're up to, or at least apologize for your actions and for taking part in this type of hideous social programming. It's a apt name here, the social, because what it is social conditioning. It's conditioning you into the New World Order. It's conditioning you into the New World Order's eugenics depopulation agenda. And that's all it is. And all I can say is it's evil. It's EVIL. That's it.